See, that's a couple minutes after 6 o'clock. We'll call the August 1st, 2016 City Council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Barnett?
Present.
Mr. Austin?
Here.
Mr. Allen?
Yeah.
Mr. Alt?
Here.
Mr. Akers?
Here.
Mr. Fox?
Here.
Mr. Wertz?
Here.
Sir, you have
Thank you, ma'am. Invocation of pledge with Mr. Wertz.
You bow your heads. Father, be with this city council as we make good decisions for our community. Be with our fire and police, the men and women who do our work for our citizens and protect them. Be with the military around the world. Be with our country with the election cycle, both federal and state, coming up. Be with our city employees who make Franklin a fantastic city. Be with the weather and our construction crew of the many road improvements for our city and trails. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Announcements, public comments? There you go.
First of all, some of the comments on the proposed amendment to the smoking ordinance. Should I take that now or later?
When we pull it up for public hearing.
Yeah. These would be any public comments for anything that's not on the agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll close the public comment. Period, go to the consent agenda.
Motion to approve minutes from 7/18.
Second.
Motion by Barnett, second by Representative Allen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Old business.
Make the motion to read all under old business by title only.
Second.
Motion by Barnett, second by Eggers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Both of these items are set for public hearing and adoption if you so choose. First item is Common Council Budgetary Ordinance number 1609, a budgetary ordinance transferring funds between departments. As introduced to you, gentlemen, a couple of weeks ago. This is an opportunity within the police department, within their existing budget, and within monies that have been appropriated within the mayor's department to transfer $12,000 from the mayor's department over to the police department. In doing that, we would be able to hire another police officer here in the coming weeks, pending approval from the Merit Commission. This year.
Set for public hearing.
It is set for public hearing. Public hearing. I don't think you're here from this, Mr. Smith, are you? Do we have any public comments from anyone else? Hearing now, we'll close the public hearing and open it to any questions or comments from council members.
I move to approve Common Council Budgetary Ordinance number 1609, transferring funds between departments.
Motion by Eggers, second by Fox. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next item, similar, and we have public hearing and adoption if you so choose, is Common Council Ordinance number 1609, an ordinance amending ordinances 09, 04, and 06, 12 to include vaping and e-cigarettes to the city's smoking ordinance. This was proposal introduced to you all a couple of weeks ago. I think it's been discussed for a couple of months now. This is in front of you this evening for public hearing and for adoption. I'll open it up to public.
I'm going to introduce myself. Bob Smith, I'm an environmental health specialist with the Johnson County Health Department, also a resident of Franklin. First, the health department recommends and supports efforts to reduce or eliminate sources of contamination within indoor and outdoor venues where individuals potentially could be exposed and affected. I would like to commend the Franklin City Council on passing a smoking ordinance that helps protect the health of employees, volunteers, patrons, visitors, and citizens within this community. I would also like to thank you for considering an amendment to this ordinance that would include electronic nicotine delivery systems or electronic smoking devices more commonly also known as e-cigarettes or vapes. As of October 2015, 225 municipalities, including Indianapolis and 3 states, had included electronic smoking devices in their smoke-free ordinances. Electronic cigarettes were being promoted as a less dangerous and alternative to cigarettes and as a smoking cessation aid. But the aerosol or vapor may contain not only nicotine, but various other toxic and cancer-causing chemicals. Additionally, e-cigarette vapor has a high concentration of ultrafine particles that may aggravate respiratory conditions. Additional concerns of the nicotine delivery system include the malfunctioning of the delivery device, which can cause a fire to occur, and also the liquid nicotine itself, which, when ingested or absorbed through your skin, may lead to poisonings that put individuals in life-threatening conditions. Less than 1 tablespoon of many of the e-liquids on the market is enough to kill an adult, and as little as a teaspoon could kill a small child. It is the right and responsibility of our elected officials to take action to protect public health and safety. Once again, I'd like to thank you for promoting a healthy and safe environment for the citizens and visitors of Franklin, and passing a smoking ordinance that would include the use of electronic nicotine delivery systems. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Smith? Anyone else have any public remarks?
I would like to make a
Hold on,
motion.
hold on, you have one more.
Sorry. My name is Michelle McMahon. I'm the coordinator of Empower Johnson County, and we're a new group, and we're working to reduce youth substance abuse and use in our community. And so I just wanted to share that I really appreciate you taking this into consideration tonight. We have been surveying students, and last year we surveyed students about their past 30-day use for cigarettes. And we found that only 9% of 11th and 12th graders said they had used a regular cigarette in the past month. But we did find that e-cigarettes, we had 18%. And which this is the first year that we had ever asked that question, have you tried these? Because it's really coming mainstream. It's becoming something that we're seeing everywhere. It's being accepted. And it's scary when we're trying to prevent youth from becoming addicted to these substances. So I just wanted to say thank you. Really appreciate it.
Any questions?
Nancy Morris with Tobacco Free Johnson County, and the one message we didn't get to you was that upon passage, we can help with any signage or education needed. We can send that to all the businesses, make sure that they are totally covered with whatever they might need. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Anyone else? Public comments? Reversal ordinance 1609. Any questions or comments from council?
Just to clarify, we will be amending the existing ordinance, correct? We're not
Yes,
to do work.
after your comments, taking heed, I didn't want to do the paperwork was open up the can of worms, if you will, and everything else. And we felt by, when I say we, Joanna and does the codification, and by not codifying the old ordinance that was repealed long ago, I think we'll be able to be user-friendly and acceptable. So that's why the ordinance is pretty limited.
I always knew you were very long.
I don't think that was my initial suggestion, but upon further review, I think we amended it so as to simply add that which we were trying to sell.
Any other questions?
I would like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 16-09 and call for a roll call vote.
Second.
Have a motion by Barnett and second by Wertz. If you would please, ma'am, roll call vote.
Mr. Barnett,
Yes.
Mr. Austin,
Yes.
Mr. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Alt,
Aye.
Mr. Eggers,
No.
Mr. Fox,
No.
Mr. Wertz.
Yes.
5-2.
I would like to say,
addressing Mr. Smith's comments, I totally agree with what you're saying. My vote no was not for public health purposes or anything like that. It was merely because I don't think this board should take too much action into what private businesses can and cannot do in their particular organization or in their particular businesses. I just think if they want to either hurt or help their business by allowing that particular use in there, then that's their choice. And that's my reason for voting no.
And I concur with that. I feel like that it's, I'm very much in favor of, especially any family-friendly environment. I think there ought to be control of it. But I think it's up to the business owner to police that.
Thank you. So City Council Ordinance number 1609 passes with a vote of 5-2. Thank you. Next, there's no other old business, we'll go into new business.
Motion to read by title only.
Second.
Motion by Barnett, second by Austin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. This item is a resolution, so it could be acted on this evening if you so choose. Common Council Budgetary Resolution 1604, budgetary resolution authorizing a transfer to Fire Department capital $400 to Fire Department supplies $200 in the amount of $9,000.
Do we know what he needs to buy? She's not here. Jim, do you happen to know?
Thought you were providing the document.
He was, that we were,
Oh, I see here.
scroll down
Sorry.
on through, it's replacing furniture and items at, is it all the stations? Okay,
Oh,
all three
yeah.
fire stations.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's already money appropriated, is that correct? Back when
It's not new money, it's moving.
Yes, you can. You're just transferring it in under, yes, you can.
Originally thought it was going to be able to be a purchase from the 400 series, but it's not a large enough purchase, so then it needs to be shifted over to supplies, another 200.
What do you do with the old furniture?
It depends
on the shape of it. Actually, I think the chief is going to try to declare it to have no value and just get rid of it.
Yeah, we have two legal options.
Yeah.
One, we can come to Board of Works and indicate and have a declaration that it is of no value and therefore they can dispose of it. Or we could put it into the citywide auction if it does have value.
Is there a
Or, yeah, surplus. Or the third option I did there is actually we can do interdepartment transfers to those.
I would make a motion to pass resolution number 16-04.
Second.
Motion by Barnett, second by Abbott. All those in favor?
Aye.
No other business. Any council member comments?
Oh, can I have one comment?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
I will try to expedite this because I mentioned this at the Board of Works, but as you folks will recall, as council members and a chief body that is responsible for overseeing our monies and our monies in the city budget, we passed a internal controls ordinance and a materiality ordinance as we're required to do by law. Effective this year, the state board of accounts and legislature mandates that every political subdivision is required to have an internal control procedure that's all the criteria. We did that, and in fact, we've done that ahead of the game. There are basically three parts to that. Number one is to adopt a policy, which you've done. Number two is to ensure that personnel is defined rather broadly as any employees or persons who have exercised control over city monies, funds, or property where they're required to be trained under internal control procedures. The third element to the law is at the conclusion of each calendar year, the clerk, treasurer, or the fiscal officer is then required to certify along with filing our financial reports that all such personnel have been so trained. So you complied with number one. Number two, your clerk treasurer's office and her staff did a very good job of having training occurring to all the personnel and employees within the city. Her determination, of which I currently agreed, was that rather than try to decipher who had money, every employee would be trained in that, and then they would file a certification in their file. That training, as recommended by the State Board of Accounts, includes the watching of a riveting 26-minute, 15-second video, published by the State Board of Accounts on their website. And our employees have gone through that, including our people in the Parks Department that are taking in money to cash register, and a certification goes into their file. After attending several meetings, speaking with the clerk treasurer also going to seminars, it has been recommended strongly by the State Board of Accounts that we view personnel as being somewhat broader than just employees. And it's my belief that the State Board of Accounts wants anyone who has control over budgets, approves claims, etc., to also have that certification. The failure to comply with the law can mean that your budgets will be rejected at the conclusion of the year. So having said that, I would like, with your permission, to bring forth a resolution for the council that they approve council members watching that video and filing the certification in with our clerk's records to show that we have done that as a city. It will give you time to watch that 26-minute video at your leisure before the end of the year.
You can't do it here at the council.
If you wish to go, if you wish to inflict that on the general public, that would be your choice, but I would not recommend it. I would recommend you do it right prior to bedtime, because it will be assisting and aids assistance.
I don't think that falls in the definition of the word leisure.
Yes, that is, but it really does, I think that if we, because the idea is that, and I discussed this with Jake, is that we will have a book, so when the Board of Accounts comes in, either for auditing purposes or reviewing it in the end, they'll say, how do you handle internal controls? This is the hot button, this is the big deal. And then, and we have it, and we say, here's our ordinance, here are our certifications, so on and so forth. And I think it would be very helpful if all boards that exercise authority would have this resolution in file, and our clerk treasurer can say we've all done. So I would like to bring that resolution. I also intend on giving that to our merit board, both fire and police, because they approve claims. Our Parks Department, because they exercise authority over our funding, or over our park property, and our RDC and our FDC. I give them the same resolution we do and change it so it will be at a minimal cost, send it to their attorneys and ask them. So what I'm seeking is a nod ahead to allow me to congratulate to bring that resolution to you next month for approval and caution. I watched it. I wouldn't ask you to do anything I didn't do, so I watched it. It's powerful. I'll bring it forward. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
Motion from Burnett, second by Agers, all those in favor?
Aye.